We are just one day away from the first E3 press conferences, which means it's time to share the games I'm most looking forward to this year. Hey guys, JV here, and today I'm sharing my 10 most anticipated games of E3 2018. Before we get into that, just a heads up, you can find daily streams of the newest games, as well as commentaries just like this over on my Facebook page. So check the link in the description below and stay tuned for tons of awesome video game content and a ton of exclusive coverage from E3 and EA Play this year. Most of that is going to be over on Facebook, so you guys really need to go over and check it out. The following games are either announced to be at the show or heavily rumored to appear, and this list is in no particular order, so I'm actually going alphabetically. First is Anthem. As a longtime BioWare fan, I want the studio to bounce back and find success again. Andromeda was a misstep, and they know that, but I know that with Casey Hudson at the helm and primary development happening at their Edmonton office, there's a real chance that can happen. From the gameplay we saw last year, it looks to be large, ambitious, and gorgeous. It's also looking to compete with other major AAA looter shooters in this space, like Destiny and The Division, but I hope it remains a BioWare game with interesting stories to tell and intriguing places to visit. I have high hopes for Anthem, and I hope we see a lot of the game at EA Play and E3 this year. Next is Assassin's Creed Odyssey. The funny thing is, all we have right now is this small teaser clip. Looks very 300 to me. According to Kotaku, the game will be an even larger departure from the mainline series than Origins was. Odyssey will take place in ancient Greece and will include Witcher-like RPG elements and dialogue options. That's a first for the series. Also, we'll be able to choose a male or female protagonist. That's also a first. Overall, it feels like the franchise is morphing and evolving, and I'm glad to see it's been rejuvenated with Origins. That game has seen a lot of critical and fan, acclaim. So I'm very excited to see what Odyssey has in store. Next is Cyberpunk 2077. This game is not confirmed to appear at E3, but its developer, CD Projekt Red, will be there with an RPG that's multi-platform, so maybe this will be it. The game's teaser was first shown in January 2013, over 5 years ago. We're certainly due for something. If you're unaware, Cyberpunk 2077 is an RPG set in a dark future where technology has become the salvation and the curse of humanity. The narrative will be non-linear, have sandbox elements, and some multiplayer. It's incredibly ambitious, and coming from the developer of The Witcher 3, the hype is absolutely justified. If this is at the show, I fully expect it to steal the spotlight. Next is Fallout 76. The fact that another Fallout game is coming in the near future is exciting enough, but what really fascinates me is the online component. The game is reportedly a multiplayer RPG, which is something we've never seen from Fallout. However, it's still supposed to be faithful to the franchise and the flavor of game that we've come to expect. It will still be a Fallout game. My hope is that whatever 76 is, it still gives us something BGS Fallout fans will enjoy while also evolving and bringing something new to the table. Bethesda isn't one to just churn out games for the sake of it, just to make some more money, so I expect this one to turn heads and really surprise. Next, Ghost of Tsushima. This game is perhaps the most exciting for me purely based on the concept. Coming from Sucker Punch, the first-party Sony developer known for its infamous series, Ghost is an open-world RPG. It's set in 1274 in feudal Japan. The Mongol Empire invades the island of Tsushima, which actually happened, so there's a historical element there. We play Ghost, one of the last surviving samurai, and we must forge a new way of fighting to win Japan's freedom. According to Sucker Punch, the world is completely open, one giant island of completely explorable space. We have never seen an open-world samurai-themed RPG like this, so I'm extremely excited for this game. Next is Skull and Bones. This is Ubisoft's spiritual successor to Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. People loved the sailing in that game, so they went and made a proper pirate game, and by all accounts, it sounds incredible. I see this as the more serious Sea of Thieves that's actually an RPG with realistic graphics and a mature tone. We'll create a custom pirate captain and sail around the Indian Ocean, building up our reputation and recruiting a crew of our own through the single-player mode. This game will have a single-player narrative, but also a multiplayer mode, several multiplayer modes, but one of them is called Disputed Waters. In this mode, there are two teams racing to salvage cargo hidden around the Indian Ocean. Another mode is called Loot Hunt, which matches you with other players to hunt down treasures. You can squad up with up to 5 players on a single boat. Throughout the game, we'll collect a variety of ship types, weapons, and more. The gameplay revolves around using the wind and, orchestrating the sails, hunting for treasure, stuff like that. And of course, there's combat and PvP elements. It hasn't been announced as far as I know, but I'm sure there will be a live service component to this game as well. And Ubisoft has proved that they understand live service with Origins. That game has received some great updates. So, honestly, if all of this is what we play on launch and everything that I've listed here comes out with the game, I will ditch Sea of Thieves. This sounds so much more up my alley, more my speed, and I really hope that Ubisoft shows it off in a big way this year. Next up, Marvel's Spider-Man. Insomniac's open-world web-slinging game looks incredible. Thanks to the reveal last year at the, Sony's event last year and a Game Informer cover story, I believe that was 2 months ago, we already know a ton about the game. It will be completely open world, the graphics are gorgeous, and there will be satisfying combat thanks to Insomniac's pedigree with, Ratchet and Clank and so on and so forth. Honestly, the shock value isn't there anymore for me because we've seen so much, but that doesn't take away anything from how excited I am to play the game and see more. I believe that they will bring something exciting to the show. And the fact that it's a PS4 exclusive. I hate that other players don't get to experience the game on PC and Xbox, but we know what this means for the game. It will be at a level of quality you just don't see on other platforms. We've seen that time and time again with PlayStation 4. This game comes out on September 7th this year, which will be here before we know it. Next is Starfield. We know nothing about Bethesda Game Studios' new IP. We have zero clue. We know 2 new major projects are coming before the next Elder Scrolls game. I don't know if one of those is Fallout 76 or not, but somebody dug up the Starfield trademark forever ago, and that's what we've been going off of. It's rumored to be set in space and have a multiplayer component. We may not see Starfield at E3 this year, but as a fan of BGS, I really want to know what this new IP is. We haven't gotten a new IP from the company, from the developers, since forever, it seems like. I was looking at their games. They had like a racing game back in 2003. That's the only thing we've seen outside of Fallout and the Elder Scrolls. So if it is unveiled, I expect to be blown away. Next is Rage 2. This game is exciting for several reasons. First off, it's being co-developed by id Software and Avalanche Studios. Avalanche is responsible for the most recent open-world Mad Max game, as well as the Just Cause franchise. Plain and simple, they understand open-world explosive gameplay that involves a lot of vehicles. On the other hand, id put out another incredible shooter in Doom 2016. That was one of my favorite games of that year. So we've got the best of both worlds here coming together for a wild post-apocalyptic adventure, and the trailer I've seen that they put out so far looked fantastic. This game is very exciting for me, and I'm glad Bethesda, the publisher, did not abandon the Rage IP. Finally, last and of course not least, is Red Dead Redemption 2. This may not even appear at E3. In fact, Rockstar famously avoids this convention. However, the game is coming out October 26th this year. It's a perfect spotlight to show off some more raw gameplay, something we haven't seen yet. Then again, Rockstar may avoid that and wait for the E3 buzz to die down before giving the game its own spotlight in the coming months. Whatever they do, Red Dead 2 is going to be a generation-defining game from what we've heard so far, perhaps more so than even GTA 5, which has become the most profitable entertainment product of all time ever. Well, actually, I don't know about that. Fortnite may be close behind at this point. Honorable mentions include Days Gone and The Last of Us Part 2. I'm a sucker for high production, high quality Sony exclusives, so I will be looking closely at those too. And also Fable. Please bring back Fable. Microsoft, you have a big opportunity here. Show us Fable 4. Overall, this might be the most exciting E3 for me ever. That's saying a lot, but seriously, I plan to play a ton of all of these games on this list, and most of them are releasing over the next year. That's very exciting. Alright guys, that's it for this video. In the comment section below, tell me which games you're most excited for at this year's E3. Share your list in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, remember to hit that like button and subscribe for more E3 coverage, once again mostly over on Facebook, but also here on YouTube. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll talk to you next time.